See, the line starting from a thin muscular wall called the interatrial septum. Okay, these few lines mention about septum which is present in the heart. These lines are very important. The function of septum is not directly mentioned here, but it can be asked as an MCQ, concept based MCQ. So today I'll explain you about the septum. Septum is a muscular wall present in the heart. When we say wall, we usually think it must be rigid. Then only it can give you protection, right? But the wall in the heart is a muscular wall, which means it is a flexible wall. Why should it be flexible? It is strong and flexible. Why? Because the heart is a muscular organ which continuously pumps throughout the day. So the septum must also be flexible. So this is a muscular wall. The function of this wall is to separate the four chambers of the heart. Okay. So usually wall gives protection, but this wall separates the four chambers of the heart. So where is the septum located in the heart? It is present in the center of the heart between the right and left sides. First, let me mark the sides of the heart. This is right side and this is the left side of the heart. This is the diagram of the heart. The shape of the heart will be like an inverted triangle. Okay. This is the pointing end of the triangle. You call it as apex of the heart. It is an inverted triangle with the apex pointing downwards and slightly towards the left. Okay. Next, this is the base of the triangle, which is the superior surface of the heart. Which is the superior surface of the heart. Okay, now, so center of the heart between the right and left side. So this is the right side, this is the left side. Now, can you tell me where is the septum located? This part. I am shading it in the brown. So it extends from the base of the heart. I told you, this is the base or the superior surface of the heart to the apex or tip of the heart. So septum is the one which divides the heart into right side and left side. And the second division is present where it is present between the atria and the ventricles. Okay, so the septum divides the heart into two sides, right side and left side. Then again, it also divides the heart into four chambers, two upper chambers and two lower chambers. Okay, the upper chambers are called as atria and lower chambers are called as ventricles. Atrioventricular septum is present here, which divides this. Okay, so in muscular wall called the interatrial septum separates the right and left atria. Okay, so in between the atria you have interatrial septum and it is a thin muscular wall, whereas a thick walled interventricular septum separates the right and left ventricles. In between the two ventricles you have interventricular septum. This is the interventricular septum and it is thick walled. Throughout the septum there is no opening. Okay, so it is completely sealed off between the right side and left side. The important function of septum is to prevent mixing up of blood between the right side and left side. This is important because right side is full of deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood is low in oxygen and high in carbon dioxide content. This blood is taken to the lungs where it is oxygenated, purified, and it is sent to the left side of the heart, that is, it is sent to the left atrium of the heart. Okay, so this side is full of oxygenated blood, oxygen rich blood, which has to be supplied to the tissues. Okay, so mixing up of blood will result in improper supply of oxygen to the tissues. Function of septum is to prevent mixing up of blood between right side, which is deoxygenated blood, and left side, which is full of oxygenated blood. This is the atrioventricular septum, which divides the heart into upper chambers and lower chambers. Okay, the upper two chambers are called as the atria, right atria, left atria. Lower are called as the right ventricle and left ventricle. The atrium and the ventricle of the same side are also separated by a thick fibrous tissue called the atrioventricular septum. So this atrioventricular septum is present between the atrium and the ventricles on both sides. But this septum has got an opening, and this opening is guarded by valve. Okay, on the right side you have tricuspid valve, on the left side you have bicuspid or mitral valve. So we'll sum up all the points. Septum is a muscular wall which divides the heart into four chambers, that is, first into right and left side, and it divides between the atria and the ventricles. In between the atria you call it as interatrial septum, it is a thin muscular wall. In between the ventricles you call it as interventricular septum, it is a thick muscular wall. Throughout the septum there are no openings. Okay, So in between the atria and the ventricles you have atrioventricular septum. This is a thick fibrous tissue. It has got an opening which is guarded by valves. On the right side you have tricuspid and on the left side you have bicuspid or mitral valve. The important function of septum is to prevent mixing up of blood between the right side and left side, that is preventing mixing up of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood.